In the previous episode, we explored the waters and over 60 islands of Loch Marie. Following that, we punched south into the breathtaking Lake District.
Hey guys, and in this episode of the adventure series, we find ourselves in the Lake District. Situated in the northwest part of England, it has some of the most spectacular views this country has to offer. Not only that, it is packed to the brim with amazing things to see and do for the entire family. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the adventure.
Leaving camp, we enjoyed the tranquility of the local lake, Coniston Water. Now, believe it or not, folks, Coniston Water has been a magnet for water speed records over many years. Back in 1939, Sir Malcolm Campbell set a record at over 141 miles an hour. That's 228 kilometers an hour in the Bluebird K4. Now that stood for many years until his son, Donald Campbell, set 4 successive records between 1956 and 1959. However, tragedy would strike in 1967, where he was unfortunately killed after achieving a speed of over 320 miles an hour. That's 515 kilometers an hour, which is absolutely insane. Well, I'll tell you what, hats off to the fella.
Righty, campfires. Now campfires are those awesome times when you're at the campsite, especially when you're allowed to have open fires, like here at Drysdale campsite. Absolutely superb location. Get yourself some rocks, cover that little fire pit area, make sure that, those flames and those fire don't spread anymore. Get your little ones involved. That's the best time they want to get involved in at a campsite, is around the fire. It's warm, it gives you a sense of protection. It's a really great way to bring people together, especially for the little ones. So give them a task during the afternoon when you're getting all your things ready for the fire. Send them out. Ask them to get some tinder ready for the fire. So get them involved, teach them and educate them exactly how to make a fire. But while you're doing that, also reinforce the education and the safety around fire, and it needs to be respected at all times. So it's always a good activity to involve the little ones in making a fire. So there's various ways we can make fire. We're just going to use just normal fire lighter and some matches. We can use flints and striker. We'll probably do that another time. But just show them, get that tinder nice and fluffy in the middle there, but always make sure that you have all your ingredients. Preparation is key here to when making a successful fire. So getting your fire pit ready, get all your ingredients for your fire for the evening. We're obviously going to be making the pizza bread shortly, so we've got to make sure this fire is pretty good. You're going to need a lot of coals to use the Dutch oven, so that's exactly what we're going to do here. So nice and simple, get them involved, get that tinder nice and fluffy, and you've got your kindling ready to go. As soon as that catches fire, we'll get that kindling straight on there, because that's what we want to get first. So we want to start small and then work our way through to the larger logs, and then we have an established fire. So we're just going to grab this little fire lighter. This is quite a neat little fire lighter. You can get these from surplus stores. So the military use these, and these are absolutely fantastic to use in different climates and altitudes. It's quite oily. Really great product that. Just use that. You know what kids are like, they absolutely love making fires. I think it's just the awe of a fire. We all enjoy watching a fire in a campsite. So up she goes, nice and easy. And while you're building your fire, you can show them different ways of making a fire. You can make one out of a teepee. You can make a fire that's basically stacked. And that sort of orientation, that is quite nice. It basically gives the fire protection, and it gives the fire area to breathe. So this is quite a good way of making fire. The TP method is quite quick and easy, quite simple. One thing you'll find about these campsites, most of these campsites, especially like Drysdale, they have campfire. that you can buy, which is really nice. So it stops you from cutting any of the trees down, because this, you've got to appreciate this area here around the Lake District area is quite a very sensitive area, so it's very protected. So you don't want to go and stop chopping trees down. It's not really a good idea. You want to respect the environment, make sure it's good for many years to come, because you want your little ones to come back here and so on and so forth. So we all want to enjoy it for many generations to come. While you're building that fire, you want to make sure and reiterate those safety points to the kids, and to show them that fire needs to be respected at all times. And you can make a good fire, especially for the little ones, in a nice controlled environment. I think that's perfect to get them involved right from the start. And once they see the food getting cooked, and right at the end, when the fire is going, we can all get marshmallows and sit around the fire, which is a really good pastime. So now we just allow the kindling there to establish itself. Once that's established, we can start moving on to the larger logs, and then finally we can get tucked into some really good food.
So JB, fire safety.
Yeah.
Talk about it.
Fire safety.
Yes.
So it's always a good thing to have something at hand. Luckily, with the vehicle that we've got a fire extinguisher. But if you don't have that, simple water, bottle of water, have something on hand. If something does go wrong, if you have a stray spark that kind of goes into, if this area is really dry, then I think what the camp owners would probably say is they probably minimize fires in the area. So, but luckily it's quite lush and green, so it's very difficult for fires to spread in this area. But if it still has the opportunity to spread, so what we want to do is make sure we've got something at hand, so if that does happen, we can put that fire out. And be sure to put your fire out before you go to bed. You don't want to be leaving that and wake up to nothing left. So you don't want to be doing that, destroying the campsite in the process. So. The trick is with a teepee is always keeping it fed, but you don't want to smother the fire. You want to make sure there's plenty of oxygen flowing through the fire. And then teach them about the element of fire and what creates the fire triangle. You know, it's fuel, it's oxygen, and fuel, oxygen, and
Spark.
heat. Yeah. That's a great way of getting the kids involved, teaching them something new. So when they come to school or they're doing sort of outdoor lessons, they know these things and they know how to respect fire, and they can probably guide other children that haven't or don't know much about fire. So it's always good to spread that knowledge in the best possible way. It's not a bad idea to stack your logs around or close to the fire, not too close, especially the ones that are ready to go on the fire. You start drying them out, getting them prepared. A lot of wood that you do get sometimes is still a little bit moist, so it's not a bad idea to, once your kindling is going, you start preparing the larger logs for burning, and then just dry out those sections. So when you have your stacking method, that sort of square stacking method, that is always a good way, because what it does, it burns from the bottom and all that heat rises, and then it basically dries out all the wood from the top, which is another way of, if you are stuck in a situation where you have to use moist wood or there's only wet wood available, you can do that. So that's another option. So there you go. So if you enjoyed a day out on adventures, you come back to camp, everybody is going to be with stormy bellies, ready to eat something. Why not cook yourself a nice hearty meal? It's quite easy to go to the shops nowadays and get something that's ready made. We get it, it's quick, it's easy, simple. But why not try something different? And this is exactly what we're going to do today. We're going to cook some pizza bread. Now you're going to need a Dutch oven, you're going to need some further ingredients. I'll put all the stuff in the link below in the description so you can have a look at that, and it's something nice you can eat around the fire, and if you don't eat everything today you can enjoy some of it tomorrow morning and throughout the day, which is quite nice. So let's get stuck in, So the ingredients we're going to need is self-raising flour, which is expected. Give yourself some nice mozzarella cheese. We need some caster sugar, we've got butter, salt and pepper. Need some plain flour so we can mix that dough onto a nice sort of clean surface, and get yourself some salami or bacon, whatever you prefer. Completely depends on your particular taste. So let's get stuck in here. So 2 cups of self-raising flour, and most importantly get yourself a bowl, a nice mixing bowl. As you can probably see here, this is a collapsible basin which will do. There's nothing wrong with that. So give yourself something that's pretty decent. So 2 cups of self-raising flour. Get that chucked in the bowl there. Doesn't matter if it's not perfect, it's not what we're looking for right now. Nice tablespoon of caster sugar, get that in there. 60 grams of butter. Now obviously we won't have scales, but it's a little bit of about that much. So get that in there. You can always add as you go, there's nothing wrong. So now get that in the bowl. What we're going to do is we're going to get a pinch of salt in there as well. What we want to do is mix this all in so it's got a nice sort of crumb-like texture. That's what we're going to do here. And if you need to add a little bit more butter, then do so. And I think that's exactly what we're going to need to do. A bit light on the butter there. And be sure this is going to be a messy job. So whoever's going to be on bread making duty is definitely in on messy hands. But it is fun. Get the kids involved, which is quite good. Let them see the process of making something as delicious as nice pizza bread. They'll really enjoy it. And that's the main thing about cooking some nice hearty meals at the campsite, is get as many people as involved as you can. So now we've got like a crumb-like texture. That's exactly what we're looking for. So what I did with my meat, we chose a salami, and then what I've done is just quickly pre-fried that salami. So that is all nice. So it's made sure that it's nice and cooked. Okay, once you've got a nice sort of crumb-like texture, this is exactly what you need, and this is where we add your salami, your cheese, and any other ingredients like olives, parsley, all that kind of stuff into your pizza, into your bread. Now's your opportunity to add that. So that's exactly what we're going to do. Get that in there. Get that cheese in there. And like I said before, there's no exact amount of cheese or meat that you would like to put. It's completely dependent on your taste, and obviously the amount of people that you have in your party. So I like plenty of cheese, plenty of meat. It's always a good pizza. Give that a good mix. once the ingredients are all mixed in here, what we're going to do now is create like a little bowl where we're going to pour the buttermilk into this little area, and then we're going to really mix it in and turn it into a dough. So before you pour that buttermilk and you start getting your pours straight into that dough, what we've got to make sure is our surface area is ready. So you want to roll this into a bowl. So prep your surface area beforehand. Okay, she's good to go. Now at this stage, it's just a 1/4 cup of buttermilk. Oh, it's nice and thick. Wow, straight in there. Get that mixed in there. Now, as you can see, it is a rather messy job, but I can assure you, once this is baked, you're going to have some really happy campers. You really need that dough in there. You might get a little bit more flour here. Just be careful you don't knock your stuff off your table. It's coming together really nicely here. There we go. Starting to look really good. I think we still need a little bit more self-raising flour there. It's a little bit sticky. Cameraman is going to help me here. Get some chucks in there. Cheers, mate. All good? Yeah. I think we might need a touch more there. Giving the old cameraman a workout, yeah? There we go. That's perfect. Thank you.
Alright.
There we go. It's always good to get yourself a nice sort of decent work surface, like a table. I mean, this is quite a small little table that we've got here, mainly due to the space constraints that we've got in the Land Cruiser. So if you've got a little bit more space for a decent table, then obviously this will be a lot easier for you guys. But it just goes to show, it's just use what you've got and put your mind to it. You can get it done. Okay, she's looking a lot better now. So try and get all this dough onto this big ball here. Try and get rid of all this. Okay, really need this dough in here, because what we want to do is get rid of all those little flour clumps and make sure that's all worked in nicely. But this should taste absolutely amazing. Okay, whoops. Right, this is where we start using the clean surface. Get on there. We need that dough. You'll start seeing the self-raising flour, hence the reason the name. It'll start growing in size, and that's exactly what you want. A nice, decent size there. So once you're happy with how the dough's been kneaded. And what you want to do is get into a nice sort of 20 centimeter or so size ball, and then we get it into sort of get it prepped, ready to go into the Dutch oven. So she's looking really good, yeah. And you'll see at this stage your hands become a lot cleaner because the dough starts obviously sticking to itself. So don't worry too much about your hands getting too dirty. But it's a fun process to involve your kids. They can get involved here because most kids love getting stuck in when you're baking, like breads or anything like that. So and this is exactly what we're looking for, a nice ball. And once you're happy with that, just let it rest for a little while. And what we're going to do is we're going to get a knife and we're going to cut it into 8 equal sections. But we don't want to cut it all the way through. We just want to make a small incision in the top, so it's basically pieces that you can break off once it's baked in the oven. So when it raises and it bakes, it will come out and you can actually see those cuts and you can just break them off quite easily. So my lovely assistant is going to get a knife. Thank you. There we have it. Now we're ready. Now all we got to do now is get that in the Dutch oven and let that bake for 20 to 25 minutes or until golden brown. So let's get that done, eh? It's time to get the bread, pizza bread. We have checked it a few times, which is really nice. So, and she's looking golden brown, so be sure just to get a little cold with your lid. Oh, look at that. What a cracker. Take it over to the table here. This looks absolutely superb. So you need a little bit of a loosen her up. So make sure when you bake bread or anything like this in your Dutch oven, use a good oil just to line your Dutch oven, just so that the bread doesn't burn on your Dutch oven. There we go. Let's get some hands on this bread here. Oh, that looks superb. Look at that. Fantastic. Oh my god, looks amazing. We've got 2 hungry guys here who are literally waiting to sink their teeth into this beautiful bread. Oh, it's a nice crusty bread. Oh, all that melted cheese. It looks absolutely amazing. Dinner is served.
With the night in full swing and bellies full of pizza bread, we set out to explore a local track to Coniston Water. Now, it's highly recommended to take this track during daylight hours due to the spectacular views. However, we attacked this track at the dead of night. This undoubtedly provides a completely different experience and challenge to you and your four-wheel drive. Now, coming from a pickup background without diff locks, this would be an incredibly tricky track to conquer. Long hill climbs, large rocks, and lots of undulating terrain. However, the old goat is in her element. Look forward to the next episode of the adventure series where we find ourselves exploring the Yorkshire Dales and some of the magic this part of the country has to offer.